My name is Claire Dawson. I'm 33 years old, and I'm about to tell you the story of how my parents erased me from their lives and what happened when I came back to prove I was never really gone. I was 19 years old when I left for college. It was a small school in Oregon, 800 miles from home. I had worked 2 jobs to save money for tuition. My parents didn't help. They said I was on my own now. They said I had made my choices. I didn't know what choices they were talking about. I had never done anything wrong. I had never been in trouble. I had never been a difficult child. But somehow, I was always the one who was wrong. The day I left, my mother stood at the front door. She didn't hug me. She didn't say goodbye. She said, "Call us when you figure things out." I didn't know what I was supposed to figure out. I was 19. I was going to college. I was doing what I was supposed to do. I called them every Sunday. I called them for 6 months. They never answered. They never called back. I left messages. I sent emails. I wrote letters. Nothing. Then one day, my best friend from high school called me. She was crying. "Claire," she said, "did you know? Did you know what your parents are telling people?" I said, "What are they telling people?" She said, "They're telling everyone you disappeared. They're telling everyone you ran away. They're telling everyone you're lost. They're telling everyone you might be dead. They're telling everyone you abandoned them." I was silent. I couldn't breathe. I said, "That's not true. I call them every week. They never answer. I left messages. I sent emails. I wrote letters. They never responded." She said, "I know, Claire, I know, but that's not what they're telling people. They're telling everyone they did everything they could. They're telling everyone they're heartbroken. They're telling everyone they're praying for you." I said, "Praying for me? I'm not dead. I'm alive. I'm in college. I'm doing fine. I'm not lost." I called my mother that night. She didn't answer. I left a message. I said, "Mom, I know what you're telling people. I don't understand. Why are you doing this? I'm not dead. I'm not lost. I'm here. Please call me." She never called. 2 years later, I started getting letters. They came in the mail. They were handwritten. They were signed by a woman I didn't know. The first letter said, "Dear Claire, you don't know me. My name is Margaret. I used to be your mother's best friend. I can't stand by and watch what she's doing to you anymore. I need to tell you the truth." I read the letter. It was 3 pages long. It was full of things I didn't want to believe. Margaret told me that my mother had been lying about me for years. She told me that my mother had told everyone I was troubled. She told me that my mother had told everyone I had problems. She told me that my mother had told everyone I was dangerous. She told me that my parents had stopped looking for me after 6 months. They had told the police I had run away. They had told the police I didn't want to be found. They had closed the case. She told me that my mother had been telling everyone I was lost. She had been telling everyone she was grieving. She had been telling everyone she was praying. She had been using my disappearance to get sympathy. She had been using my disappearance to get attention. She had been using my disappearance to get everything she wanted. I read the letter 3 times. I cried. I was angry. I was confused. I was heartbroken. But I didn't respond. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know who to trust. The letters kept coming. Margaret wrote to me every month. She told me more. She told me everything. She told me that my mother had been telling people I was dead. She had told the church. She had told the neighbors. She had told the mailman. She had told everyone. She told me that my father had gone along with it. He didn't argue. He didn't object. He just nodded and let my mother tell her story. He was a coward. He always had been. She told me that my mother had been collecting sympathy cards. She kept them in a box. She would take them out and read them when she was feeling low. She would use my death to make herself feel better. She told me that my sister Emily had been telling people I was gone. Emily was younger than me. She had always been the favorite. She had always been the one my parents loved. She was 16 when I left. She had told everyone I was dead to her. I read Margaret's letters. I read them all. I kept them in a box under my bed. I didn't tell anyone about them. I didn't know who to tell. I felt like I was the ghost of myself. I felt like I was disappearing. I felt like I wasn't real. I finished college. I got a job. I built a life. I met someone. I fell in love. I got engaged. His name was David. He was kind. He was patient. He understood what I had been through. His own family had been difficult. He didn't judge me. He just loved me. When we got engaged, I thought about my family. I thought about whether I should invite them. I thought about whether I should tell them I was alive. David said, "Claire, you have to make peace with this. You have to decide what you want. You can't live your life in the shadows. You can't let them keep you hidden." I decided to send my mother an invitation. I decided to tell her I was alive. I decided to give her a chance. I sent the invitation. I put it in an envelope. I wrote my mother's address. I mailed it. She didn't respond. She didn't call. She didn't come. 3 days before my wedding, my mother showed up at my door. I was at my apartment. I was packing. I was nervous. I was excited. I was getting married in 3 days. There was a knock on the door. I opened it. My mother was standing there. She looked old. She looked tired. She was crying. "Claire," she said, "I need to talk to you." I stepped aside. I let her in. She sat down on my couch. She was still crying. "Your father is dying," she said. "He has cancer. He has 3 months left. He needs to see you. He needs to say goodbye. Please, please come see him. Please." I looked at her. I didn't feel sorry for her. I didn't feel pity. I didn't feel anything. I felt empty. I said, "Mom, why are you here? Why are you telling me this now? You told everyone I was dead. You told everyone I was lost. You didn't look for me. You didn't care." She said, "That was different. That was a long time ago. We didn't know what happened to you. We were worried. We were scared. We didn't know what to do." I said, "You didn't know what happened to me? I called you every Sunday for 6 months. You never answered. I left messages. I sent emails. I wrote letters. You never responded. You knew exactly what happened to me. You just didn't care." She said, "That's not true. We cared. We didn't know how to handle it. You were so difficult. You were so hard to deal with. We didn't know how to help you." I said, "I wasn't difficult. I was 19. I was going to college. I was doing what I was supposed to do. You were the difficult ones. You were the ones who couldn't handle me. You were the ones who made me invisible." She was silent. She didn't say anything. I said, "Mom, I'm getting married in 3 days. I invited you. I sent you an invitation. You didn't respond. You didn't call. You didn't come." She said, "I didn't know. I didn't know if you were real. I didn't know if the invitation was real. I thought someone was playing a trick on me." I said, "A trick? You thought someone was playing a trick on you? You thought someone was faking your daughter's wedding? You thought someone was pretending to be me?" She said, "I don't know what I thought. I was confused. I didn't know what to do. I came here to ask you to see your father. Please, he's dying. He needs you." I went to see my father. I didn't go for my mother. I didn't go for my family. I went for me. I went to see if I could find any closure. I went to see if there was anything left to salvage. My father was in the hospital. He was in a room on the 3rd floor. He looked old. He looked sick. He looked weak. "Claire," he said, "I'm glad you came." I said, "Dad, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you call? Why did you let Mom tell everyone I was dead?" He said, "Your mother, she made the decisions. She always made the decisions. I didn't have a choice." I said, "You always had a choice. You just didn't make one. You let her do what she did. You let her erase me. You let her tell everyone I was dead. You let her stop looking for me." He said, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was weak. I'm sorry I didn't protect you. I should have done better. I should have been a better father. I should have been better." I said, "Dad, I'm not here to forgive you. I'm here to say goodbye. I'm not going to pretend that everything is okay. It's not okay. It hasn't been okay for 14 years. I'm not going to pretend that I'm not angry. I'm angry. I'm angry at you. I'm angry at Mom. I'm angry at Emily. I'm angry at everyone who pretended I didn't exist." He said, "I understand. I don't expect you to forgive me. I wanted to see you one more time." I said, "I'm getting married in 2 days. My wedding is in 2 days. You can come if you want. You can see me get married. You can see me be happy. But I'm not going to pretend that everything is okay. You are not going to get a happy ending." He said, "I'll be there. I promise." My father came to my wedding. My mother didn't. She said she was too emotional. She said she couldn't handle it. She said she needed to stay home. But my father came. He walked me down the aisle. He held my arm. He was weak. He was tired. But he was there. When we got to the end of the aisle, he stopped. He looked at me. He said, "Claire, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't the father you deserved. I'm sorry I didn't protect you. I'm sorry I let your mother erase you. I'm sorry I didn't fight for you." I said, "Dad, I forgive you, but I'm not going to forget." He said, "I don't expect you to." He sat down in the front row. He watched me get married. He watched me say, "I do." He watched me be happy. After the ceremony, he came up to me. He said, "I'm proud of you. I've always been proud of you. I just didn't know how to show it." He hugged me. It was the first time he had hugged me in 14 years. It was the last time I ever saw him. My father died 2 months after my wedding. I didn't go to the funeral. I didn't want to see my mother. I didn't want to see Emily. I didn't want to be part of their performance. A few weeks later, I got a letter in the mail. It was from my father. He had written it before he died. He had given it to his lawyer to mail after he was gone. The letter was short. It said, "Claire, I want you to have something. I want you to have the house. It's yours. I left it to you in my will. Your mother doesn't know. She will find out when I'm gone. She will try to fight it. But it's yours. You deserve it. You deserve everything. I love you. Dad." I didn't want the house. I didn't want anything from them, but I fought for it anyway. I fought for it because it was mine. I fought for it because my father wanted me to have it. I fought for it because I deserved something from the family that had taken everything from me. My mother tried to fight it. She hired a lawyer. She tried to say the will was forged. She tried to say my father was confused. She tried to say he didn't know what he was doing. But I had proof. I had Margaret's letters. I had the recordings. I had everything. She lost. She lost the house. She lost the money. She lost everything. I sold the house. I didn't need it. I didn't want it. I used the money to start a foundation for families who had been torn apart by lies, a foundation for children who had been erased, a foundation for people who had been told they didn't matter. My mother called me once. She said, "Claire, how could you do this? You destroyed our family. You destroyed everything." I said, "Mom, I didn't destroy anything. You did. You destroyed everything. You destroyed me. You destroyed your marriage. You destroyed your relationship with your children. You destroyed everything because you couldn't handle the truth." She said, "You're not my daughter. You're not my child. I don't know who you are." I said, "You're right. I'm not the daughter you wanted. I'm not the daughter you could control. I'm not the daughter you could erase. I'm my own person, and I'm going to live my life on my own terms." I hung up. I didn't call her again. If you've ever been erased by your own family, I want you to hear something. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not dead. You are alive. You are here. You matter. The people who erased you don't get to write the end of your story. You do. You are not a ghost. You are not a memory. You are not a tragedy. You are a survivor. You are a fighter. You are alive. My name is Claire Dawson. I'm 33 years old. I was erased, and I'm still here. If this story made you feel something, drop a comment below. Tell me the word that describes what you feel. Share this video with someone who needs to hear they're not alone. Subscribe for more stories like this. Thank you for listening to mine.